As we're in game number 2 of this best of 3 round of 32 WCS North American qualifiers, down here at the bottom right side of the map, representing looks like, is it flip side? It has to be flip side. F side. Flip side. It is Bails. He of course is facing off against his opponent, leading the series 1-0, located at the top left side of the map. He is the Stephen Bonnell. He is the Destiny. No clan tag. No colorful space. I think Destiny should have right now, like with this clan tag, he should actually like create a clan like hey like he and have like that and have like Avatar or like that like little lizard just like with the hey like icon. That'd be perfect. Be perfect, man. Everybody would know who you are on ladder. Everybody probably already knows who you are on ladder. That's, yeah, point aside. Point aside. Just looking out for you, man. Alright, large map, large two-player map. We're going to watch and see how this PvZ plays out. If Stargate was one of the focal points of Bails' gameplay last game, I definitely seeing it being used on a map such as this once again. It's just, it's hard not to. It's hard not to because Oracles can cover a lot of ground very quickly. They have a lot of harass potential as well as ability to have map control, unit control, and just multiple uses that a ground army can't typically really have unless it's putting on a lot of pressure. And you're almost, when you're doing that type of style, you're putting yourself very all in. Now, recently, somebody that might, you know, differ or you know, argue against that, somebody like Jacques, Protoss from the Netherlands, really good player. He's one of those Protoss players that actually is able to pull off gateway harassment and attack and last a very long time and then pull out of it as he's transitioning behind all of it. So it's a very weird style, and I think a lot of us are watching and adapting and learning, but just typical Protoss play, usually to be able to actually have like a lot of map presence and control, you have to take it through the air. Because yeah, if you take it with ground units, you're going to be all in, and you don't want to be all in. Easy as that. So we're taking a look and see right now. Destiny grabbing his pool, his gas. Nothing too crazy going on just yet. Again, a reminder, yesterday we had, who was it? Scarlet. Oh, I have to double check again. Like, all of these games are starting to like just fold into one big game. This is like that typical like discussion like you would have like with the Codecast. Some of like Artosis and Tasteless, like when they're talking about like you remember watching that game, right? You're like, yeah, you kind of like nod your head, but then you have to actually like look back and remember the names in the actual game because there's so many that happen, especially with best of 3 format. It's a little bit tough to keep up at times. Scarlet, Arium, Fog, and Vibe. So IVD, Vibe, of course, just as of yesterday, leaving Root, teamless in a sense. Arium as well, IVD, very young 14-year-old, and Scarlet, the baller nerd. She is just absolute wrecking baller away. She actually, I think, had the tougher side of the bracket as well, or at least because I think she was over on that side of the bracket, it became the tougher side, or like the better side of the bracket, or tougher, you know, whatever you want to call it. Man. We take a look and see right now, Bails does have that Stargate drop down. Gates beginning to wall off, and on a map like this, I will admit, man, Protoss, I think now, there we go, are finally figuring out the best way to wall this damn thing off, because if you try to do it across, there's like this weird, there's this like really damn weird gap right over here where you're gonna have to build like 2 pylons, or you're gonna have to figure out a way to wall it. You have to wall it off very awkwardly, and this is, I think, the best way that Protoss are figuring out: 2 gates, 2 pylons, and then utilize their back area right over here between the gas to be able to actually get out. So can be advantageous a little bit, but then at the same time also that is leaving a little bit of a gap to be able to actually allow lings and units to get up onto the high ground and spot exactly what's going on. So we were talking about that Stargate. The Phoenixes are starting to come out. Overlord will go down. Overlords do have speed, though, already. Destiny actually got that upgrade. This, of course, will allow them to spread out a little bit quicker, as well as also find their way back home. It's got to be a little bit careful not leaving too many of these Overlords around. It's one of those things that even though you know that the Phoenixes are coming and you could build Spore Crawlers, you lose enough Overlords, it will force you just to, you know, spend endless amounts of minerals on them just to make sure that you're not supply capped. Down at the bottom 12 o'clock side of the map, we have a few Lings gathering down here, of course, in hopes of maybe that they could spot or do a little bit of a run by to snipe down to third base, but to no avail, nothing there just yet. Phoenixes begin harassing away at the Overlords. Or continue, sorry, not begin, continue harassing at the Overlords. Double Spore Crawler build right over here from Destiny. Dropping those down, of course, the spores can't get lifted, so you can't even chase them down. And remember that we were talking about from last game, kind of that edge of the gas, those drones are going to get picked off. That's the one problem. When you have them within the mineral line, like this one's going to protect these ones right over the gas for the most part, but this one right here, yeah, up until it's actually over the gas, like, it's just, yeah, in too much of a dangerous spot. And now if the Phoenixes do try to fly in through the back over here, they will get pot shotted by the Queen and also both Spore Crawlers. So this could be one of the newer, better positionings, even though it does kind of block the path of a direct gas mining, but it's minimal seconds, really, that you're talking about. Just point of a point. Oh, is he going to get it? Oh, he did force the cancel, and this is what we're talking about. Those Lings that he held back over here, just waiting for the moment for that third base to come up. Looks like he had barely enough to be able to force a cancel, and the best part about that is not only did he force a cancel, but he forced a lot of energy to be used by these sentries. So, you know, if he just all of a sudden came, say, with a lot of Hydras and Lings across the map once again, I'm not sure if Bails would be able to hold. I think he would lose that base again. But again, that's just me. Phoenix is pursuing harassment still throughout this game. Game for the most part right now is stabilizing. Bails dropping the wall at the third base. Colossus joining the army as well. You can see that he's getting the range upgrade, +1 underway. Destiny, meanwhile, finishing up his hive once again pretty early, and I think he's figured it out with getting that hive out pretty early. He's going to be able to get those Vipers out, and Vipers are becoming a very nice addition to him. One Phoenix that goes down from the Hydras. Queen, though, Queen stays alive, so that's really good for him. With Hive finished up, does he have a Spire anywhere out on the map right now, or is he going to have to drop one now? He's going to actually... No, he's got it. Does he have it already? Yeah, he does. Oh, I guess, yeah, no, I guess since he doesn't, he's not going to go... I was about to say, I'm like, in this scenario, I don't know. On this map, Mutas work probably even better than Catalina. But I don't know if you like I'm trying to figure out the best way on this type of map. This isn't exactly Catalina where you're really forced deeply out of your base. You could sit back over here on these at these angles. So working with these angles, it's very hard to produce a very formidable attack. Sometimes you might just want to try to overwhelm with Corruptors, but at the same time, Corruptors do become a little bit of a paperweight unit in a sense if you lose a majority of your ground army. So after watching the first game, I could understand if he goes for Vipers once again, why he's doing it. It's very understandable. Because once again, right now, we're taking a look at the army composition. We have 1 Colossus, 2 Colossus, an Immortal, a couple Templars, and a Mothership Core. Basically, Templars are replacing the Void Rays from last game, so if Destiny manages not to get his Vipers feedback, he actually could just outright 2-0 this really, really quick. Or Prism harass over by the third base. Meanwhile, over here, Vipers with full energy flying over the Protoss base. I'm not sure what that was about, but loses one of the Vipers to feedback, so that's unfortunate. But with the amount of energy that they currently have, still about 6 more Yanks are available for him. He needs to make sure, though, he gets these Templars out of the way, because the Templars, they have a lot of energy on them for feedback, as well as Storm if you wanted to realistically use them. Activates the Mothership Core and the Photon Overcharge. Zoom out to try to get a little bit of a bigger glimpse of the army right now, and he's going to head on forward. Storm's getting used. Vipers. Vipers. Oh, I'm not sure how this engagement's going to go. Bails is definitely dealing with this a lot better, and now good force fields, trapping a majority of the army, completely locking it down within his natural, and you see just so many of those forces just melt away, and this is what Bails wanted to do last game. This is going to give him a big advantage, and is he going to start heading across the map? Yes, he is. He wants to. He smells a little bit of blood. He's like a shark, man. He wants to go for it now. What's left on the side of Destiny right now? He's got some Hydras. He's producing 1 Roach. He's got some workers as well. He really needs to actually start ramping up the unit production. He has some everything back and do what he can. Slowly working his way down into the natural to third area of Destiny. Destiny, of course, really not a good position in terms of just, you know, the eye test. He's definitely not going to be able to pass it. One Storm gets thrown down. Blinding Cloud dropped on top of the army. Protoss just moves out of it for the time being. Another Blinding Cloud toss. Yanks are happening, but the blink on top of the Roaches prevents them from finishing up their focus fire right now, and with the final units and more reinforcing Colossus and Stalkers coming in, I think this is going to be GG, and we're going to be heading to Game 3. Well, yeah.